Yeah, it's your boy Rawway back with another one. Yeah, we're not gonna waste no time. We're gonna go straight into these patch notes because it's gonna be a long one because it's a big update. It's gonna be a big Christmas update coming out. We got 3 players coming out. We got Prime Braun, we got Ben Watts, and we got LaMelo Ball coming. But first, we gotta get to these patch notes, man. We find ourselves starting off with Jokic. Adjustments to the skill heavy screen. Added a new effect. When Jokic sets the screen, opponents within 2.5 meters have their movement speed significantly reduced. So basically, this essentially is a really nice buff. Basically, essentially slows the defenders around his screen. He already has the screen knockdowns as well, so this will be really nice. As well as for your scorers to have to play around your screen, it gives them a little bit more incentivization to play around your screen. So nice buff, right? Second, we have removed the effect for 3 seconds after ending a screen. Jokic's release speed upon receiving a pass slightly increases. Solid. Then we have adjustments to the skill Jokic post up, significantly increase post up movement speed. I think this is going to be really nice. Again, a lot of Jokic's around, I think, the first 2 seasons. There was a ISO Jokic playstyle where people would legit just back down and use that hook shot to get open. Now you can do that more frequently, it looks like. I think that's a really good quality of life update for him and a really good, nice move for his arsenal now for him to have some ISO play with that. And then we have adjustments to the skill heavy box out. Added a new effect. If the opponent misses a contested shot, Jokic's rebound competitiveness significantly increases. Rebound competitiveness is the most important stat besides the actual stat for rebounds in this game, and vert, of course. Having rebound competitiveness basically gives you priority for rebounds, so that's why you find out to see like a lot of the bigs that you see in the game. Essentially, if they have it, they essentially get more boards, and even if they don't have a higher rebound stat, because it gives you more priority. Think about Bam's alt, and think about Westbrook putback dunk. They have so much rebound competitiveness that they have priority over other rebounders, even if they have lesser stats in that category. So that's a really good buff. So basically, it basically means he can kind of compete more with those rebounding bigs now. Then you have add a new effect. Jokic's off-ball movement speed slightly increases when within 3 meters of the basket. Adjustments to the talent pick and pop. Add a new effect that Jokic can directly use catch and shoot upon receiving a pass. This essentially means Jokic does not have to screen to use his catch and pop, which is really fucking nice. This essentially like makes him an actual like off-ball threat now. Instead of him having to screen the person and then move, he could just go spot up now, it looks like. I hope that's the case. If that's the case, then that's an actual buff. Next, we have adjustments to the skill soft floater and talent soft hook. The effective range has been expanded from 2 to 4 meters to 2 to 5 meters. This is a nice buff right here too as well, because he already could kind of do the hook in this floater from a nice range. Given that extra meter makes it even a little bit deeper, and then you add this along with the post movement speed buff, it's gonna be pretty nice. Then we have adjustments to the talent high vision. Changes from triggers when passing to teammates outside the 3-point line to triggers when passing to teammates over 6 meters away from under the basket. So basically, I think this is basically going to be when he gets those rebounds, he's going to be able to like actually, from under the basket, when he gets those rebounds, he's going to be able to just throw it straight out. Again, it's not really nothing too crazy, but again, just it's a solid change. Overall, I think Jokic is, again, he's been struggling to find his place. Even when the game initially dropped, it was always like people were playing Gasol, Bam, those bigs, even and Embiid, and even Porzingis got some play over him, right? You only really see him being played with Curry, And I think that's still even kind of more the case now, but at least now you have him being able to have some more offensive tools in his kit, and you have him be able to have some rebounding, which is always good. So I don't think this obviously takes him and puts him in the meta or anything, but I hope to see some Jokic being played because he is a very underrated center. He has a lot of kind of underrated utility as well. Hopefully he gets some more run out, man. So yeah. Next up we have AD. Adjustments to the skill, extended help. Added a new effect that when there is no defender within 4 minutes of his matchup player, Davis gains a significant boost to his block range against layups and dunks. So basically, I don't play too much AD, so I believe his extended help is on his regular shoot / block button. So basically, what this I'm interpreting what this is going to be saying is that when there's no defender within his 4 meter of his matchup player, right? So that basically means if he's helping, does he get more block range on that? Or if he's helping, does he, or when he dashes back, does he get more block range on that? I'm not necessarily sure about that, but either way, that's a good buff, in my opinion. Being able to get more block range just on your regular block skill is a good buff. So I like that change for him. I think the next change is where he really needed it. Adjustment to the skill turn and fade and talent catch and fade. Slightly increase the mid-range accuracy of turn and fade and catch and fade. Now you're gonna see throughout these patch notes, you're gonna see a bunch of accuracy buffs. Like I said, like I was talking about how rebound competitiveness is really important for centers and just bigs in general. Besides the actual stat, it's one of the best passive stats to have. Shot accuracy is also one of those things that you should have. That's really good for offense and especially for scores, right? So him getting a mid-range accuracy boost, right, for both of his fades is really, really, really nice because that's one of AD's weakest points. A lot of high elo teams and players will know that AD really can't shoot that well. So they'll allow him to shoot the ball as much as he wants to because they know that he'll eventually miss. So a lot of players will eventually just kind of try to counter that by just not shooting with him, which kind of just still ends up working in their favor, right? So now he can actually shoot a bit and possibly maybe he can make 3 in a row, maybe 4 in a row, just depending on what your build is. But I think it's a good solid buff for AD. I think he'll definitely gonna need it when Ben comes out, and especially with Hakeem getting the buff right afterwards, which we're gonna go into, he definitely is gonna need it. So let's move on to Olajuwon. Adjustments to the skill Realm Sprint. Reduced its cooldown from 8 to 6 seconds. So again, also just like AD, I'm not really familiar with a lot of Hakeem's skills and what the names of what the skills exactly do. So I'm not sure. I know the Realm Sprint is on what would be his pass button, his pass / steal button. So I don't know what that is, but again, having a reduced cooldown for any skill is a really nice thing to have on any character. So if I had to guess, I think the Realm Sprint is after he puts a shot up after a pump fake of the fade. I think that's what it is. If not, somebody come and correct me. Any Hakeem player come and correct me very quickly. I'm not sure, but then goes to the next one. Adjustments to the skill Dream Board. Triggering addition for slightly increasing rebound range has been changed from while Realm Sprint is activated to during rebound attempts. So, I mean, just having common sense, if the Realm Sprint is definitely the little sprint that he has, the little dash he has after he puts that shot up, I think that's nice. It seems like they're separating the two cooldowns, or they're separating the two and making it more that you can differentiate the two. Okay, and then adjust to the talent no fly zone, right? Added a new effect that when Olajuwon is within 5 meters of the basket, his block range from behind significantly increases. So basically five meters is a long range. If you look at the meters that you see, if you have like the little training practice thing on, like that's a long range. So he's getting an increased block range from that. This seems like these are solid buffs to Hakeem. Again, you don't really see a lot of Hakeem being played because a lot of players don't really know how to use him, and then a lot of comps right now don't really revolve around a scoring big, because this guy can easily be a main scorer. He's the only big in the game that can really easily be a main scorer. So again, I like Hakeem getting buffed. I don't mind him being in the meta, and I think this would be a solid change for him. It looks like. Let me know for the Hakeem players. I'm not really that versed on his skills, so let me know if this is a crazier buff or this is a little bit of a nerf. Let me know about how that's looking out. Yeah, man, we're gonna get into the next person. We got Bam popping up. So guys, I'm not gonna lie, Bam for me is a really weird one, because you look at these things, you look at these two adjustments to his quick floater and his cunning floater. I'm not sure if they're nerfs or not, right? Let's just read it, right? So it says adjustments to the skill quick floater. The effective range has been reduced to 3 to 5 meters to 2 to 5 meters, right? And then it says adjustments to the talent cutting floater. The effective range has been reduced to 3 to 5 meters to 2 to 5 meters. So what do we mean? Like, right? So basically, reduce would mean like a nerf, right? But aren't you like making the range longer that he can actually do the moves from? That's what I'm confused. That's what I'm like. I don't really know. Maybe possibly I'm reading it wrong, or maybe they are making it shorter, but it looks like they're making it longer. So I don't know how it would be reduced. This is optimize the release feel. So it looks like it would maybe that was a bit clunky. I did play Bam in the early season. The floaters did feel a little bit clunky, so I think that's possibly what they're trying to optimize there. So then we go to also this one as well, I think, which I was kind of unsure about, which was the adjustments to the skill rebound smash, which is his ult, right? No, not his ult. This is his smack when he smacks the ball, right? Added a new effect that during the smash, his rebound competitiveness is slightly increased, right? So basically, whenever he smacks the ball, he gets rebound comp, it seems like, which is very interesting. I was wondering why they put this effect on it, but I mean, like, I think that's a buff for him. Obviously, that's a buff for him. Again, like I said, if you get rebound comp or any of your skills as a big, you're gonna really enjoy that. Again, I'm very pleased they at least buffed a big of Bam's caliber, because he's been out the meta for about like a couple of months now. So him getting something to somewhat compete is always nice to have. And yeah, we move on to Gasol. Adjustments to the ultimate move straight. Slightly reduced the release speed of the putback dunk. The release timing is slightly delayed, and the block window has slightly been increased. Right? So basically, Gasol has been meta since he's dropped. Gasol will continue to be meta even with Ben dropping, because again, let's just say if Ben's come out with Ben and everybody else is coming out, he will that should be the second best center in the game, right? So it doesn't really matter too much. This nerf doesn't matter too much. Again, a lot of people don't even block the putback to begin with, or don't even try to go attempt for it. I guess it kind of incentivizes people to go for it, but Gasol will still be the second best big in the game. I mean, that's it. He's been meta since he's dropped. He'll continue to be meta for a pretty long while, until another center that they release down the line takes that mantle. But yeah, that's just Gasol for you. Which brings us to Giannis, and Giannis has a really big slew of really interesting changes going on here. Let's look at these, right? So, adjustments to the skill insane stretch, right? Added a new effect. On defensive possessions, Antetokounmpo gains a slight increase in contest impact against dunks. So basically, contest is another weird stat in this game, where especially on dunks, where if people jump with you, or if they even if they're like right in front of you while you're dunking, that counts as a contest in most cases, right? Which can actually lead to you missing dunks. There's been a couple times where I've seen people like dunkers in this game, like Westbrook, Wades, whoever, miss like dunks when you thought that like, okay, no, this guy's a dunker, he should be probably making that, right? Yeah, contests will make you miss dunks, right? So basically, it looks like Giannis will be able to make people miss their dunks a lot more, which is very interesting. So that's clearly a buff, right? So so we go to the next one. Added a new effect. Each successful block grants a small boost in mid-range accuracy, stacking up to 2 times. Again, I like this buff as well. This incentivizes people to play defense, right? Getting blocks helps you be able to shoot a little bit more mid-range. Now, compared to what he was shooting before, I don't know how much this is going to help. I don't know how much this affects his cycle, which is basically the cycle, if you don't know, is like how much you can make consistently before you miss. I don't know how much he will make with this. I don't know, but again, this incentivizes Giannis players to actually go for blocks instead of contests, which is always nice. Let me go to the next one. We go adjustments to the skill Extreme Rebound. Added a new effect that when Antetokounmpo goes for a rebound, his rebound competitiveness slightly increases. Again, when people get rebound comp as a big, it's always a good thing. So great buff there to him. Again, and you always want to run Giannis as a solo big. So again, him getting rebound comp just helps him in this regard. Then you have adjustments to the talent Super Double Pump. Super Double Pump has been changed to Double Pump Slam, which can be cast when Antetokounmpo is using Euro Step, Dunk, or Super Dunk. So basically, so this means in normal mode, he can double pump out of the Euro Step Dunk, which he can only do in super mode, and he can double pump out of I believe this is the under the rim dunk. He could double pump out of that too, which if that's the case, that's a really great buff for him. That gives him some mix-up options for sure as well. And then we have slightly reduced dunk accuracy when using the double pump slam in a normal state. So it looks like they're actually kind of giving a little bit of a nerf here to that as well. So even though they're giving him more mix-up potential, it looks like when you do double pump, you're going to have a chance of actually missing more of those double pump dunks when you're in the normal state. So when you're not in super mode, you can miss those you have a better chance of missing those dunks when you're in normal mode. Interesting. We then have adjustments to its talent Supreme Double, change from the effect increasing block resistance when significantly extended the time during which the double pump slam can be blocked. Not really sure about this. It says increased block resistance, which is always good. Okay, but yeah, but it basically means okay, you can block it. Yeah, it gives you more time to block it now, I guess, in this normal mode. That's interesting. And then we have strong breakdown can be used and when super mode is not active. I think strong breakdown I think is when he can bump you in his alt mode, which is very interesting as well. So basically you can proc that. Now you can get hard stops, like how Kid gets a hard stop, how Ben's gonna have a hard stop, how Kawhi has one. You basically can get that now in normal mode instead of not having to wait in super mode to get that. That's very interesting. I think that's a really interesting thing to add for Giannis. That's a huge buff for him in my opinion. And then changes cooldown during normal state to 20 seconds and during super mode to 5 seconds. So every hard stop you get with Giannis in normal mode is, so basically the strong breakdown is 20 seconds, but in super mode is 5 seconds. That's a huge buff right there. That's a huge buff. And then adjustments to the talent double pump slam slightly reduce the blockable window of double pump slam when super mode is activated. So I'm not really sure why they. So basically, it seems like you can block the double pumps more in normal mode, which will be smarter. And then it seems like you can, uh, it's harder to block in super mode, which I guess is a smart thing at the end of the day. It's just, I don't know, it was kind of weird when I first read it. But yeah, I think these changes are really nice for Giannis. Basically, incentivizes you to play defense, so you shoot a little bit more. Um, you have more mix-ups when you're dunking. You can double pump out your regular Euro dunk. You could double pump out your under the rim dunk. You have a hard stop in both modes as well. In your super mode is 5-second cooldown, and normal mode is 20-second cooldown. Again, you can you also have a contest impact now that you can help you can basically make people miss more dunks now. I think that's a really nice changes to Giannis, man. I think he definitely probably got the best buffs I've seen so far. I know this definitely ships him up. I think we're gonna see a lot more Giannis's this season. And a lot of people are gonna be hopping on a train, and I think you should. I mean, he looks really good with these changes. Moving on, we go to Tatum, and which is and possibly like the most insignificant like change on this whole entire patch notes, right? Adjustment to the skill outside pass. This is in green mode, right? Added a new effect that slightly increases the safe pass distance when passing the ball. Like again, having like pass distance is always like good to have, like on any character. Like I wouldn't say like you don't want to have it, but this is a nothing burger. Like Tatum is always going to be able to run with any lineup. He's Mr. Versatile. He can fit in any lineup. He can be a solo big. He could be a lock. He can fit with any score. Like you can't go wrong with a Tatum on your team. But this is a nothing burger of a change, in my opinion. Next, we got AG, Aaron Gordon. This is another slight change that's really not too crazy. But actually, if you guys didn't know, small forwards were actually kind of a counter to Aaron Gordon because they were the one position that could actually contest his dunks. Because they don't count as PGs and shooting guards. So basically, you look at the buff adjustments to the bully ball badge at the enhancement 2 level 2. Dunks of Aaron Gordon cannot be contested by PGs and SGs or small forwards now. So they were the one position that could really kind of give him trouble because they could keep up with him, they could contest his dunks, and they could low-key block him as well. So they could contest him for their bigs under the rim. It was pretty annoying, but again, I'm a Gordon player, so again, this is a nice little buff to have. But Gordon's not going to really be moved from the meta. Like he's going to be played in those Haram ball lineups, Haram ball comps. This is not really nothing. It's just a solid little buff for him and quality of life change for him. But this is really not nothing. So moving on, we got one of the more crazier and funnier changes to me because his prime version is literally being added tonight, or this will be tomorrow morning, right? We have a buff to the old version of LeBron. So let's go through this because this is kind of crazy to me, right? Adjustments to the skill absolute denial, right? Added a new effect that slightly increases the block range from behind within 3 minutes of the rim. So the one thing about like old LeBron, his strengths are his strengths and his weaknesses are his weaknesses. His weaknesses are always that he could never really shoot that well without his focus shot, and his focus shot was really hard to wind up and get it off if a good team is playing him, right? But his strengths are always that he could defend every position in the game, right? Because he has 360 blocked at every point. So Bron was always really good at defensive situations, but almost kind of really awkward at offensive ones, unless you really knew how to mix up his bag, right? So this is just a buff to what he's already good at, right? So then we move to adjustments to the talent comeback king, right? Trigger condition from trailing by 5 to trailing by 3. Now, I think this is a really good change because you can only shoot that his ult as a 3 only if you're only trailing by 5. Now you can do that by 3. This gives you a little bit more leeway now to help tie the game, help you use your ult before anybody else on the other team uses on your team who has possibly has a 3-point ult uses their ult to help tie a game, help you get back into a game. It's always a nice thing to add, right? Okay, cool. Then we get to added a new effect that slightly increases the release speed of Focus 3 when trailing by 3 points. I think this is a really nice change. I just wish that this was constant. I wish that this was always the case and not just when he's trailing, because the Focus 3 is one of the weakest parts of this game. But low-key, again, you don't want to... I understand why they did it, because you don't want a character like Braun who has all these defensive capabilities to then not really have a weakness on defense. I mean, on offense. So I kind of get what they were going for, but you kind of wish he would have it in a little bit more situations, because that is his weakest side to his game. Then, right, we have adjustments to the ultimate defense badge at hands level 2. Now James' movement speed will increase by 0.1 meters. The chance of being shaken off will reduce by 6% after every successful steal, interception, or block. The effect stacks up to 3 times while reducing the cooldown for sprint skill by after reaching 3 stacks. So again, this is just more defense stuff. Again, Braun's problem was never defense. It was never defense, right? We all knew, especially in the early game, like the first 1 to maybe 2, like maybe 1 to 3 seasons, but mostly 1 to 2 seasons. Like, Braun was very good within his certain niche and lineup. He did what he was supposed to do as a lock. He did his job effectively. It's just that better locks came out that give what he gives and gives more offensive value on the court. So it was never necessarily about necessarily about giving him or buffing his defense. Like, his defense was never the problem. It was his offense that needed a little bit more retooling. I like that they added I like the alt change, the comeback thing, but then these are just specific situations where you have to be trailing to get these things. And it doesn't still kind of address the problems that he doesn't have like more of a bag for him to get into the score, and that he doesn't have it's basically a little bit more of a shooting threat for him to be a true lock that can be used in higher elo. But again, it's still a buff. So hey, so we move on to KD. Adjustments to the ultimate fight spirit. The morale cost has been changed from 1200 to 1350. So basically, KD to me, in my opinion, has been one of the more underrated superstars in the game. I think a lot of people don't understand how crazy he is and don't really give him a chance. A lot of people just think like, oh, well, he can't really ISO that well, and he's not really a main scorer because he can get locked up pretty easily. But man, by God, if this guy is a secondary scorer in your team, like, and if you put him with the right lineup, he is insane. A lot of people get mad about how, oh, this scorer doesn't make this many shots, or he might miss too much. KD makes a fuck ton of shots. I don't know if y'all know that, but you go against like a top KD, somebody like a Drelo, like, bro, they make like six or 7 in a row, like, and it's just insane. This guy is super underrated. He really is. But nerfing his ult cost, one of his strongest things, right? It's solid for me. But that's an interesting nerf for KD there, right? Then we have adjustments to the basic skill sidestep J, added a new effect. The contested range and the contested angle for mid-range sidestep J are slightly reduced. Right, so basically this is a buff. It's going to be harder to contest his sidestep shots. That's an interesting buff. Remove the effect when using sidestep J. to shoot a 3-point shot while Fight Spirit is activated. Open 3 accuracy is slightly increased, but the contest resistance is significantly reduced. So this was like an overall nerf. So basically, when you use your ult, we all know that when you use your ult, KD can basically, if it's single coverage, he can basically just like shoot over you with no contest. And basically, again, you have to guard him double to contest it, or he can ult and sidestep it as well, right? So usually what good KDs will do, they'll pass the ball, they'll get their ult, and then they'll play that mind game with you, whether they're doing a sidestep or they're just shoot it in your face, right? So now it looks like they're taking that away from him, which I think that's just a huge nerf in my opinion. That's a crazy nerf. But then they're trying to compensate it by giving open 3 accuracy, which again is always good for shooters, but the contest resistance is also significantly reduced. So can you contest it a bit? Are you saying that you could slightly contest it if you have, I don't know, with the right conditions? I don't know, but that looks like an overall nerf to me. Then we have adjustments to the talent High Ground. Add a new effect that High Ground can be triggered when using sidestep J outside the 3-point line. This means that when the Durant's enhanced 3-point shot is contested by a single defender, the shot will be considered an open shot. Okay, so they're giving him a buff here. So basically, when you get this shot off, this shot will, again, by a single defender, you will get open shot for this shot. So, okay, that's interesting as well. And then adjustments to the skill wide crossover, optimize the control field, added the effect can perform a follow-up drive and basic 1 second of finishing a basic drive. This drive can only be used by the 3-point line. Okay, so this seems like an overall kind of net neutral instead of like a buff or a nerf, because there's buffs here, like they're giving him like again the sidestep J has reduced contest range and angle range, and then it seems like also for what they're buffing is they're giving him a little bit more open shot accuracy on the alt when he's doing a regular shot, and then he has another feature with this high ground shot that basically makes that shot open. There's only one defender there, and then he has like a little bit of a quality of life change with his dribbling, which is always needed with him. So that's solid. And then, but the nerfs are that you can't do a sidestep at the 3-point line anymore with him, which makes it really predictable if he's going to shoot with his ult now. And I believe the contest resistance is I think you can contest his ult a bit now. So these are interesting. I think it's more of a net neutral for me with KD. I think he's super underrated, and I hope more people play him. Seriously, man, I think he's been really solid addition to the game, and hope more people pick him up. Next, we have Stephen Wardell Curry. But yeah, so adjustments to the skill sidestep shot, right? Added a new effect. Curry can perform a sidestep shot immediately after completing his drives. Now, I'm not necessarily a Curry player either, but adding anything to his repertoire right now, I think is needed for him, because he has, even though he's still effective, I still think he's one of the most versatile people that you could add on a team, and he can still draw so much attention, even being added as one of the early superstars in the game. I still think he's still good, but again, him adding a little bit more tools in the toolbox to compete with the higher end scores is always nice to have, right? Slightly reduced the blockable window of sidestep shot. Note that sidestep fire remains unchanged. So again, you seem like you're going to be able to block him a little bit more on the sidestep shot. This looks like a nerf. This is interesting, right? Adjustments to the skill behind the back. Added a new effect. Curry can perform a behind the back immediately after completing his drives. And then added a new effect. Increases the cooldown of his drive by 1 second after using behind the back. And then adjustments to the talent back heavy, optimize hesitation drive animation, remove vertical displacement, and increase lateral displacement. It looks like quality of life changes for Curry, which is I think is an overall buff for him. I think the problem with Curry is, and why you don't really see him be run that much, is not because he's bad or anything. No, Curry is really, really good. Like, a good Curry will completely obliterate you, right? The problem is that he takes so much to work. You have to have the right comp around him. You have to have people that are looking for him. You have to also take advantage of the gravity that he's taking up, because again, most good Curries will demand a double team. They will demand your team, the enemy team, tracking where they are, what they're doing. Oh, yo, he's coming. Watch the screen. Come help. Like, stuff like that. He demands that. So when you're asking, when you're talking about Curry, why is he that good? It's just, again, if you don't have the right team structure around him, and if you don't have, the team playing to get him open and stuff of that nature, playing to his strengths, he will feel useless on the court. Again, I see a lot of people try to ISO with Curry. He's not an ISO player. Please do not do that. Please stop doing that. Right? But these are good changes for him. Right? This I think this is an overall buff for him, because again, giving him more things to his arsenal is always going to be a good thing for him, which he's always needed. So let's see how this shake things up. He's another player, like just like with KD. I hope that eventually get that kind of rub, and people eventually start picking up and playing, and we start getting some more diverse comps, because Curry is a really fun player to play against and to play with. So this is somebody who's a kid main too, by the way. So I love playing with Currys. Yeah. So hopefully I can see more of them. I don't have no worries. Next up we have Russell Westbrook. Now, Russell Westbrook has been, to say impressive, I don't think will be an understatement. I don't think he was as bad as when Wade dropped, but I think the fact that he legit kind of just does everything at the point guard position, and it's gotten really fucking annoying very quickly. Let's just get into these changes, right? But yeah, so adjustments to the skill drive and pull up reduces the contested range of drive and pull up, and is replaced by reduces the contested range of mid range and drive and pull up. Max level effect unchanged at negative 10%. So basically, instead of him having the reduced contest range on his regular pull-ups, which would be at the 3 as well, it's just now at the mid-range now. That's effectively what it means. So they're taking away his ability to kind of get his shots off for free at the 3, which is great, right? And then we have added a new effect, slightly reduces the contested range of 3-point pull-up, drive and pull-up while in high gear. Adjustments to the talent focus of the skill drive and pull up, reduces the contested range of drive and pull up, and is replaced by, again, like the reduced contested range of mid-range drive and pull up, right? Max level effect unchanged at 10%. Again, this is just another nerf to him being able to shoot threes, getting threes off and being able to shoot threes easily, right? So this is, again, they're trying to force him to shoot more mid-ranges instead of threes, which is, again, like I said, really, really, really good. And then moving on, we go to adjustments to the skill lightning hands. The cooldown has been changed from 50 to 80 seconds. That's a long fucking time. Then added a new effect. Every highlight performance, score, assist, loose ball, rebound, block, steal, interception. When Westbrook uses the cooldown by 3 seconds. So essentially, the cooldown, again, we all know that one of the best things about Westbrook was his manual intercept, which means that you could get the intercept when you want it. You could time it and get it instead of it being a random RNG thing stat to rely on. You could actually just time it yourself manually, right? Now that's going from a 50-second cooldown to 80 seconds. So it's going from 50 seconds, damn near a minute, to now a minute and 30 seconds. But it seems like luckily that cooldown is now you can shorten it with the highlight performance thing with getting those stats, but it's just like still a long ass time, and we all have those games where we don't really fill up the stat sheet as much. So I'm just really I don't know how much that's gonna hurt or not with Westbrook, because it's already hard enough to get an intercept as it is. So finally getting an intercept like probably in the middle of the game, and then having to wait to get another one, that could be very rough. But yeah, and then adjustments to the talent nitro powered slightly reduced the effect of faster shooting speed and slightly reduced the effect of faster driving speed. I think that these are also good changes, because the thing about Russ was that he was, again, the problem with Russ in general is that he was fast as fuck on defense and on offense. He could drive through your team, and he could chuck up shots too. So the thing is, he was never weak into anything. He could chuck up shots like a Dirk. He could drive and score like a Wade or SGA, right? Taking mid ranges and dunks. And then he got intercepts and he could rebound. Like, he was doing too much. And the thing is, the core of what you want Westbrook, you want him to be able to be proactive. You want him to be able to like play that help defense. You want him to be able to rebound as a guard, but you don't want him to be oppressive, like shooting threes and being able to chuck like a Dirk. Because there was a lot of lineups where Russ and Rodman would be run, and he would just chuck. He would just chuck because he knew he had a big in there that could help get those boards. Right now, it seems like they're forcing him to take more mid-ranges. Now, you know what he's naturally going to do. You know what his bread and butter is. Give some more counterplay. The intercept nerf was kind of a little wild, but again, I'll take it. So I think this kind of takes him out of meta. Like, thank God. But hey, I still think he's really strong. I still think a good Westbrook player will dominate with him, because he still does so much on the court. So overall, I'm happy with this. Hopefully, this changes how his current play style is from just kind of chucking monster that can do everything. But we'll see. Let's move on. We then go on to our last change in these patch notes, and it's a nerf finally to Jamal Murray. Finally. He has had this nerf coming for a while. We needed it. Shout out to my boy though, Cole. Fuck that guy. It's like, nah, don't fuck that guy. But shout out to my guy Cole he was the first person to actually make Murray mainstream after his initial changes a couple months ago in the patch notes before, when he became what he became. Basically with the but hey, shout out to my boy, man. He definitely made Murray mainstream, and he made that thing take off. But Murray, man, it's been a wild ride to get here. Let's look at the change. Adjustments to the talent node. Screen for three. For the skill, take cover. Reduce the max level open three accuracy bonus provided by take cover from 15 to 5%. Thank God. Like I said, bro, open three accuracy is a incredible skill. Any type of shot accuracy skill for any type of scores are deadly skills to have. And he had 15% when he was doing this move. Think about this. This is the move that he was using the screen to do his little dashes to three. He was getting 15% after he did those dashes. That's insane. That's literally insane. Again, Murray was making more shots than Steph Curry. Murray was making so many shots in a row, it was insane. Like, nobody could really quantify his cycle because we didn't know how much he was going to make in a row. It was insane. I'm so glad that this nerf is happening, and I'm glad that they didn't gut his entire kit to get here. Just nerf how many shots that he makes. You don't need him to make 6 or 7 shots in a row. He's an elite. I want elite players to be strong, but not this strong. So now he should be somewhat balanced. He shouldn't be like, it should be like, oh my God, we make one mistake, now all of a sudden we lose the game. Or this guy makes 2 threes, and all of a sudden now he can take 2s now. All of a sudden, like, this actually puts more counterplay there for him. It makes the game a lot more healthier. And again, Murray goes from being like S tier, like, he's still gonna be a kind of somewhat of a lower S tier player, but still, like, there's some counterplay here. There's something that we can work with. So thank God that hopefully the change makes him not hit as much anymore. Hopefully. But yeah, man, that's it for these patch notes. These were really interesting patch notes overall. Hopefully these things shake things up. I think the biggest winners you have to obviously look at is talking about for buffs wise, it was definitely going to be Giannis and Jokic, and I think the biggest nerfs will have to be Westbrook and Murray, which were definitely needed. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check out the first team server link in my description. Yeah, man, see you in another one. I think my next video is going to be about lineups being run. Me also explaining Haram Ball and what that is, because a lot of people don't know what the fuck that is, and a lot of people were asking me. So we're going to explain that. And yeah, man, I'm going to see you in the next video, man. Appreciate y'all coming out. See ya.